Hi, faithful caregiver. Today we're going to be discussing some ways that you can help your dementia loved one sleep and rest better at nighttime. And that way you get to sleep better, and then in the morning everyone's happier because you've gotten the rest you so desperately need. But before we get into a nighttime routine, during the day there are some things that you can do that will really help them at nighttime. The first one is routine. I know routines can get thrown out the window at the drop of a hat, but the more routine you have, the better it is for your dementia loved one. And then the second thing would be, so I've stepped outside my back door in order to tell you about one of the most important things that you can do for your dementia loved one in order for them to sleep better at night, and that is exercise. If you can get them outside walking through the neighborhood or just walking in the yard and getting fresh air and sunshine on their face, that is going to help their brain reset. It's going to help their whole body get into a rhythm that is just better and more healthy for them, and that will help them sleep better at nighttime. Also, there is a program that's called the Silver Sneakers. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, and there are other programs. You can join that at the YMCA and other facilities like that, and most of the time that is a free program for seniors. And if you can get involved in that, that would be excellent for your loved one. What I've seen happen on occasion is people get a diagnosis of dementia and it's like they just stop living. The family doesn't do anything with them anymore. It's like they think you've got dementia, now you don't get to do anything like you used to. And that is so sad when that happens. Please keep your dementia loved one as active as possible, and exercise is one of the best things for them. I'll see you back inside in just a minute because I want to get away from all these bees that are circling me. Okay, then the third thing would be to limit their caffeine. I know I myself can't drink caffeine like after 1 or 2 o'clock, or I don't rest well at night. And then the fourth thing would be to limit their naps. And I know you're like, oh no, I need them to take a nap. And that's fine, and I understand that, but limit the time at least that they nap to maybe 30 minutes to an hour, because if they sleep a lot during the day, they just are not going to rest well at night. And the fifth thing would be to reduce their screen time in the evening, like not be watching their iPhone or their tablet or their computer as much in the evening, because we know that that blue light upsets the production of their melatonin, and that is what regulates their sleep. So just reduce that or take that away even completely, and maybe instead just do a quiet activity with them, or let them look through some magazines or work on a puzzle or something that's a little bit quieter at nighttime, so that their system doesn't get messed up that way. Okay, so after dinner, while Mom was watching Jeopardy or Wheel of Fortune, because you know they love those two shows, but while she was watching that or just staring or just engaged in some quiet activity, I would go back to her room, and it didn't take but 10 or 15 minutes after I got the routine down to do this, but I'd make sure that her sheets and her pillowcase were both clean. I'd get the bed pad that I always laid on her bed under her. I'd have it on there and smoothed out and ready, and I just wanted the room to look inviting when she came in. So I'd also have her lights turned down low and maybe soft music playing or BBN playing, because Mom listened to that radio station for decades. Then I'd also make sure that that room was cooled down, because if it's not cool, they're not going to rest well. If it's just hot and sticky in there, they're just not going to rest well. Another thing I had laid out would be Mom's pajamas and her adult pull-up or her adult brief, just depending on the stage of dementia that she was in. And something else that I would do now that I did not do then because I didn't know about it or didn't think about it, was I would have a diffuser. I've got one over my shoulder going this evening, and I would have that going probably about an hour before she came in there, and put some essential oils in it. And I will say I would use a pharmaceutical grade essential oil, and I'm not going to tell you what brand to get because people get in fights over which is the best, but I would use pharmaceutical grade in that. But that way, when she walks into the room, or your loved one walks into the room, they're just going to feel like they're getting ready to have a spa experience. I would also say this: I would take the diffuser out of the room after they got in there or right before they came in there, because I wouldn't leave it in there all night, especially if your loved one is a plunderer. You don't want them messing in the essential oils or anything like that. But that is something I just think would just add an ambiance to the room and be very inviting for them. So I would say about an hour before bedtime, I would make sure that they've had something to drink so that they're not thirsty, and even a snack, because once in a while your loved one will get agitated just because they're thirsty. They don't know why, because if you say to them, well, why are you agitated? Some of them can't vocalize why, but it's because they're thirsty. So make sure those needs are taken care of. Then the idea is to start getting them to relax because it's almost bedtime. And if they don't take a warm bath at night, possibly you could even give them like a foot bath in a dish pan that you can buy like at the dollar store or the $1.25 store, just with some Epsom salts in it. That is going to relax them if you just do that. Just put a towel on the floor in that dish pan and let them just sit there with their feet in that warm water. That will definitely relax them. Then the next thing I would do is just see if they want a warm drink, or possibly like warm milk, something like that. That's going to help relax them also. Then I would start with Mom. I would start what I call the toileting process. And I would have her to brush her teeth, and she'd wash her face and hands. And if Mom's body was dry, and it tended to be dry, and a lot of your dementia loved ones will have dry skin because they just don't drink enough fluids. But I would lotion Mom down at that time, and even that putting the lotion on Mom's arms, that's like a little massage, and that's going to help them relax also. And then after lotioning Mom's arms and her legs, I would go ahead and get her adult brief changed. And I will stop here and just say this with the adult briefs. Use the highest quality one that you can at nighttime. And I love the company North Shore. They have what's called a Mega Max 12-hour diaper, and that is the one that I would use at nighttime. And they even have booster pads you can put in them. So as far as I'm concerned, and everybody again is going to have their own favorites, but that will keep them dry all night. And if you can keep them dry all night, they have less tendency to wake up also. Or you don't want to have to wake them up in order to change a wet diaper in the middle of the night. So that's a really big tip, is to do that. So let's just very briefly discuss medications, because everybody has their own favorites and their own opinions on those too. But I would be careful of the PM medications that are over the counter, because some of those can have really bad side effects with your dementia loved ones. Talk to your healthcare provider about those, and they might have a safer one to suggest that you try with your dementia loved one. Mom took one that was very, very low dosage, and I only gave it to her for a short time, but I did give her one just to help her relax. It did not keep her asleep, but I just wanted her to get relaxed, and it did help that way. And I will say this too with your dementia loved ones. I know that they don't understand a lot of what's going on, but once in a while they have these little moments of clarity. And one of those happened with my mom, because I would give her medication in ice cream at night because she loved ice cream. So I'd give her some ice cream with her medication in it. And one night, I can just see it like it happened yesterday, she cut her eyes at me and she goes, "I'm a little bit suspicious." Well, the way she said it, I just started laughing, and I'm like, "Mom, what are you suspicious of?" And she just kept looking at me, and I couldn't help but laugh. And I never said anything, and she never said anything else. But I'm thinking, you may have dementia, but something's off, and that I'm handing you something that is not normal to take. And it was her medication and her ice cream. So don't ever be surprised if they have these moments of clarity, and I hope that they bring you the joy that Mom's moments of clarity gave to me. But anyway, moving on from medication, the next thing, speak to them in a quiet, calm voice, because patience and calmness and compassion is going to make them feel safe and secure. And when they feel safe and secure, they just go to sleep easier, and they just rest better for you. Then the next thing would be this. Do you have a favorite blanket, or do they have a favorite blanket that they like to be wrapped in? If so, make sure that that is tucked in around them when you get them in bed. And I'm going to put a video on here. It's a very short clip of my grandson helping put Mom to bed. And anytime you can get children or grandchildren involved in caring for your loved one, it makes everything go so much nicer because children just add something to their life that just activates everything in them and just makes them respond normally in a better way. So I'm going to play this video, and then I've got a few more things to share with you.
Go along and go deep.
You got a picture of this?
Go tuck her in, buddy.
There you go. You make a good little mama.
Tell her lay down, go sleep.
We don't go deep.
We go pray with her. Go ahead and pray.
Amen.
Amen.
Okay, so you can see why having children around means so much to everybody involved. It is a precious video, and let me just say this also. Please remember to take videos of your dementia loved one because they will become treasured memories at some point in life to you. So after you get them tucked in, if they're a little anxious and they want you in the room with them, there is nothing in the world wrong with you sitting in there quietly with them and maybe just reading softly to them or just listening to some soft music with them until they get settled down or until they go to sleep. But as soon as they go to sleep, you run as fast as you can and get out that door and go to bed yourself because you need to get your rest. And I know you're going to be so tempted to stay up and do something else or to watch TV or to scroll aimlessly on your phone. Try your best to get to sleep as soon as you can because you need it. I hope that you've found some suggestions that will help your dementia loved one have a good night's rest, and I hope that you have a good night's rest tonight also. Thank you for taking care of your dementia loved one. God bless you, stay true, and I'll see you the next time. Bye.